It just still says skip. Hello, hello, and welcome to this episode of Painful Cinema. I am Sister Payne, and I am here with
Brother Payne,
no relation.
no
And
relation. But we
we are
still fam
super.
though.
Say again.
I said, but we still fam though.
But we still fam though. No relation, but we still fam. Absolutely. So we are here this week. Thank you all for joining us. We know that we've taken a little hiatus. Life has been lifing, but not always in a bad way. And we are excited to do our Valentine's Day episode, even though Valentine's Day was about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago. But with all of that, we are here to do
Hard eyes. Oh, we lost Sister Payne. We lost Sister Payne. Well, we are having technical difficulties today, so if you guys could bear with us a moment, because our computers decided to be weird and update. So, but right now, I think we lost connection with Sister Payne. So, but we are reviewing the movie Heart Eyes, and so that came out in 2025. So, let me see something here. Oh, I think we lost her for good.
here. Can you hear
Oh,
me? Can you see me?
oh, I can hear you and see you now.
Okay, I apologize. Technical difficulties on this side of things.
Don't you just love technology?
It's the greatest. I truly in all of my days I've never been more grateful for technology than right now.
But
When
it's
all is writing on it and
it's all right. Listen, we ain't perfect. We never claim to be. Stuff happens. The
so
good
what did
thing
I
is
miss?
before before we get to the movie though, speaking of Valentine's Day or in our hiatus, Brother Payne got himself engaged.
I didn't know Brother
Aw.
Payne wanted his business in the streets, but Brother Payne got himself engaged.
Woo!
I was
She
gonna mind
said
my
yes.
own business, but since you said it,
So yeah, I had to step away for a little bit, but in case you missed it, Sister Payne and honorary member of the
yeah,
podcast, Mel, stepped in. They covered Stranger Things, which y'all did a wonderful job. I didn't watch the whole episode because I have so I've never seen Stranger Things. So please have mercy on my soul. I do plan to watch it and catch up on it. But that'll happen at some point. So we let Val, we let Mel, they covered that. So if you missed that video, go back and check up on that and give them a good view because
yeah,
I know they did a really good job. I think we lost Sister Payne again.
I'm still here.
Um, the last episode that we did, we covered 2025, our review of 2025 in the horror movies, and then we did our predictions and kind of what we're looking forward to this year in 2026. And somehow the movie that we're covering today missed our radar. At least it did mine. I completely forgot that this movie came out in 25. I thought it came out in 24. That's on us, our bad. But we're gonna cover it today. It's getting its own episode. That's how special
Yes,
it is.
yes, its own episode. So one thing about Brother Payne and I is we both are very much so fans of slasher films. Um, I love a good classic slasher film. I know Brother Payne loves them as well. And Heart Eyes definitely falls in the realm of slasher.
Yep.
Um, Brother Payne's got some facts for you. So before we get into it, and then we'll go over a little bit of our plot. We won't give everything away, obviously, just because we want you to watch the movie.
Yeah.
That would defeat the purpose. And this is honestly, especially considering that this is a thriller from, or excuse me, a slasher film from Netflix, which sometimes you don't know what you're going to get. Uh, we both really appreciated it. So,
Yeah.
I do we want to start off with the synopsis, giving a little info?
Yeah, you can do the synopsis, and then I'll go into some of the different facts about this movie and all that good
All right.
stuff.
I'll be reading off screen. So, Hard Eyes 2025 is a horror comedy romance film about two coworkers, Allie and Jay, who are mistakenly identified as a couple on Valentine's Day. Right when a masked serial killer known as the Hard Eyes Killer is targeting romantic pairs. As they're mistaken for lovers, the duo must not only survive the killer's gruesome attacks, but also navigate their own growing chemistry, turning what should be a deadly night into a chaotic blend of scares and unexpected romance.
Ooh,
Yes, it's a little, it's a little something right there.
little
So,
something. This movie came out, yes, 2025 came out on February 7th, 2025 in the US. It's directed by Josh Rubin. Producers Christopher Landon, Greg Gilrath, Adam Hendricks, and then plus some different executive producers, written by Philip Murphy, Christopher Landon, and Michael Kennedy. Runtime is about 97 minutes, so not too long. And it dances between the genres of romance, comedy, horror, slasher. Their budget was about 18 million for this film, and with domestically it grossed 30.4 million. And then internationally it grossed about 2.7 million. So didn't do as well internationally, but domestically did pretty well. And then it is rated R for strong violence, gore, language, and some sexual content.
yes,
So this is not a family movie, okay?
no.
And just to give you guys a little teaser, that's an episode that we're gonna have at some point talking about the different genre ratings and horror. What works, what doesn't work, what's necessary. Does every horror film need to be rated R? Does PG-13 work? And so this isn't that episode, but if you want to engage with us, let us know what you think down in the comments. What is your favorite type of genre, or sorry, not genre, what is your type of rating for a horror movie? Do you prefer rated R? Do you like PG-13? Help engage in that conversation now, just to prepare for that episode. So but that's some of the stuff. And the one thing I want to point it out, the writer, I believe it was Christopher Landon. Christopher Landon, he also wrote Happy Death Day,
Yes.
and Freaky, which was a 2020 movie. Freaky I have not seen.
I have not seen Freaky either.
No, but Happy Death Day I have seen, and I actually really enjoy that movie.
I did too. I thought that was a pretty good one as well. Yeah. So I can definitely, when you watch Hard Eyes, and now knowing that he's, he did both, you can definitely see his style. It's very much so there. So
Absolutely. Give me 1 second here. So yeah, this is a Netflix movie, and I never know what to expect from Netflix direct movies, especially when we get into the horror genre. Okay, because horror itself can be campy, it can be cheesy, and I think sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So you don't know what you're going to get with this movie, or with those types of movies that come out. But I have to say, I was surprised by this movie.
Yeah.
I was surprised by how much I liked it, because I really didn't expect to. Like, we watched it, both Valerie and I watched it again for this podcast. But when I had first watched it, I just threw it on because I was like, you know what? Let's see what Netflix is doing. We hadn't talked about a podcast at that point.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I was bored. It was a Saturday night or something. And I was like, let me just see what this movie is dealing with. and put it on, and by the end of it I was like, okay, like subverted expectations. I don't know about you. I don't know what your first impressions were, but like I said, I was very surprised in a good way.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I was introduced to it by Brother Payne. I hadn't heard about it. And for me, when it comes to movies on Netflix, a lot of the times I'm more geared toward their thrillers. I'll watch their horror, but I've never looked at Netflix and thought slasher film. That's
Mm-hmm.
never something that I would put together. So I went into it with an open mind, and I was pleasantly surprised as well. I think it's hard, and we talked about this a little bit with the monkey. Whoa, it's very hard to do the comedy horror combination. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't always read well. I think it takes a special director, writer, producer, actors, actresses. It takes a special team to be able to really pull that off. And I do feel like Hard Eyes was able to do that. It's, I don't think I would say it's your typical jump scare horror. There are some moments in there like that, but it definitely gives the slasher for sure. So I had a great first impression of it. Made me watch it again. So yeah, I didn't have anything really negative to say about it.
Yeah, and I like slashers are so often known for that initial opening sequence, right?
Yeah.
That scene that kind of sets the tone and the pace for the movie and what you can kind of expect, and they want to shock you, right? They want
Yes.
they want to kind of grab you. In Scream, you had the opening scene where it's oh my gosh, I'm forgetting her name. Please don't kill me.
Drew
Um,
Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore, yes, where you have that opening scene of what's your favorite scary movie, like and then it cuts to the title card, and then Halloween, you have that stalking scene through the eyes of Michael and what
Yeah.
happens to Judith, and then it cuts to the Halloween theme. I believe in Friday the 13th, you have something similar to that, and so all of these slasher movies that we've grown up with follow that format, and I love that this one did something similar, but like in a campy
Yeah.
way, like especially the music choices throughout this movie. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they really I think the opening scene, it definitely does set the right tone for what you're about to get. You're about to get the romance, you're about to get some of the comedy, but people are dying.
Yeah.
And I think the opening sequence for this definitely it honed in on that really well. They did it very, very well. Um and it was, what I think about it, I think it made me appreciate Heart Eyes, and
Mm.
I was kind of aggravated with the victims, which is like, everyone loves the villain, but in this particular situation, because it was so campy, and just to give you guys a little bit of what that opening sequence looks like without, telling you the entire story, it starts with a proposal. And
Yeah.
you think that it's a super genuine proposal, and then you realize, oh, they're content creators, maybe not so genuine.
Yep.
And then here comes Hard Eyes. So there's such a faux pas sometimes, or disdain, when it comes to content creators and the way that they present themselves in reality versus online, and then watching their process from the outside, not as the consumer but as just a random viewer of their process. This really hits on that, and which is why I think it made me appreciate Hard Eyes and kind of low key despise the victims in that first one. um, because it's so like, it's just, it's our
It's so
times.
it's so performative.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's very, and again, and guys, you'll see us dancing around this because we really normally will go into spoilers, especially if it's a movie that's been out for a really long time. Like when we discussed a lot of our previews for 2025, we went into some spoilers with those,
Yeah.
but we really want you guys to see this movie if you
Yes,
have not.
really, really go watch it if you have some time. Just about everybody's got Netflix these days, so
Right.
definitely, please go
but
watch it. I don't
but
think you'll be disappointed. Yeah.
no. And the and I don't even want to spoil the song that comes on when his phone rings.
No.
But I was like, "Hey, no way, this brother." And one of my favorite kills is in that opening sequence. And I won't go into detail of what happens, but it's pretty gnarly. And it's you're going to hear us talk about some themes in this movie that you may not have expected. We did not expect them either. But because at a certain point, this movie takes a lull, and not a lull in a bad way, because this movie is multi-genred.
Yes.
And so, but I'm going to jump around here a little bit, sister. So sorry if I throw you off, but the design of the killer, what did you think about it? Because I was like, does this brother actually, is he walking around with like a whole hard eyes mask and they pink? What?
I loved it because it was so like, it's something that if you were to see, you wouldn't want to take it seriously. He literally has glowing pink or like reddish pink eyes on his mask. And you wouldn't want to like take it seriously, but then at the same time, there's something so menacing about it. For me, it kind of gives the clown effect. So it's like I look happy, but I may not really be type situation.
Yeah.
Like he could look, not as foreboding and menacing, but because he's got these hearts over his eyes, but then the actions obviously speak louder. I thought that the look of Heart Eyes itself was great. Because also with the mask, it doesn't give any facial expression.
Right.
So it does give you that old school, Michael Myers, that old school, Friday the 13th. It gives you that, which I appreciate. I think one of the great things about slasher films is because there's such a strong base from what we've known in the past that if you can work with the formula and take bits and pieces of it in the right way, you get something really great like Hard Eyes. And I think taking that aspect from our traditional slashers with just like not a whole lot in the mask, but still so much at the same time, I thought that it read really well.
Yeah. And I loved the so yeah, we all know how important masks are in horror, right? You mentioned Michael Myers is famous. He's had a slew of different masks. You have the iconic Scream mask, you have the hockey face mask, you have Leatherface and his various forms of masks. And oftentimes the reason why the Michael Myers mask always scared me so much was because it's just a white face with black eyes.
It's just a blank stare.
Yes. And you're just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I loved about the Hard Eyes was his movement. Because he wasn't moving like like you said, I'm trying to intimidate you, or he wasn't moving like slow and foreboding. Again, Michael Myers could walk at a snail's pace and he's still gonna catch you. If it's Ghostface, he gonna run after you. He might trip, but he gonna run after you.
Yes. Ghostface is the epitome of I'm just one of you. Like
right. But like Ghostface is like, if I can trip and still catch you, why can't you trip and still get away? Like
this is the logic of it all.
But this guy, this killer moved like a normal human being. Yes. Moved like a person who just decided on a random day to put on a mask, to put on, some clothes or whatever, and go out and start killing couples. Besides some of his weapon choices, which were kind of nasty, but like besides some of his weapon choices, he just moved like an everyday person trying to kill someone. It wasn't Scream running after. He wasn't Michael Myers slowly stalking. And I wouldn't even say it was close to a Jason Voorhees, because even he's a big dude. Okay, he's hunting you. It was different, and I think that in itself made it a little bit more terrifying, because you're like, you don't know who this is, and my goodness, this could just be Joe from down the street who decided, I hate Valentine's Day, let me go out here and start slaughtering people.
Yeah. And that
So
element alone, that you don't know who this is, instantly, y'all, like, I think it was the first 10 minutes, and I immediately messaged Brother Payne. I was like, it's so and so. I was so wrong, right?
right.
But I love that. I love that about Hard Eyes, about this movie, was the fact that it could have been so many different people.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I'm still 100% sold that that's just it,
Yeah.
But it could have been so many different people. And because the physical nature of Hard Eyes is such a typical person, they walk like a regular person, they're built like a regular person, it
Mhm.
makes it even worse, because Jason Voorhees is Jason Voorhees, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you said, he's huge, he's hunting you. Like Michael Myers he's wearing an auto mechanic outfit. Like,
Right.
there's just certain things where you're like, that's the bad guy. But in this particular movie, yeah, that it's the bad guy, but because they're so realistic, you really just don't know who it is. And I think that's one of the great things about the movie, is they did keep you guessing.
Yeah.
Kept you guessing pretty well on the reveal. So
yeah. And another interesting fact about this movie is that unlike some other slashers that we are used to, Hard Eyes in the first movie is already established as a known killer. He's been around for a few years. He's been moving I keep saying he, I'm not giving anything away. I'm just saying he as default. But he has been kind of going from city to city. So I know this movie is based out of Seattle, Washington. So he had been to New York. So there are you'll see news articles covering all these things. So he's a known killer. It's not like, Michael Myers, where you're trying to run around and tell people, hey, there's a dude on the loose. Like,
right.
he is known. It's a legend kind of at this point,
yes.
Who he is in this movie. But ironically, there are a lot of people who don't take it serious, which I thought was an interesting choice in the movie.
Yeah.
You see a lot of like, oh yeah, the Hard Eyes killers, who, like, people acting like they're afraid of it. Like, he's in the movie universe, he's a very real person.
Yes.
And so, but people almost kind of mock the news, or mock that he really exists. And I thought that was a really interesting choice. It's kind of very tongue-in-cheek almost. The movie is very self-aware, I think. Would you say?
No, I think it is. And I think that's probably part of the allure of it, is that it is so self-aware. I'm a fan of movies that do that well. Like, if you can do that well, you got me.
I got a lot of Scream vibes from this, because I felt like Scream is also very self-aware.
Yes, absolutely. They really did take some of the best parts of our traditional slasher films and put it into this just right. But I agree. It is definitely a very self-aware movie.
Almost like it's a love letter to horror.
Yes. Yes. How appropriate.
to slasher films.
Yes, a love letter to slasher films.
Because I feel like, sorry to cut you off, I feel like you could take this movie and put it back in the early 2000s and it would work.
Yes, it would. You could put this movie in the 80s and it would work.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, there's no other than the social media aspect of it, taking that part out of it, I think that's the only thing that truly modernizes the movie. Because this particular plot and the way that they've done it, it definitely is something that transcends through the generations of slasher films. I just think the social media aspect of it, the content creator aspect of it, that was their way of putting the modern twist.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And what's interesting in this movie is that you get this odd pairing between this couple that's not really a couple. They're co-workers. There's maybe a thing. You have Allie McCabe, who Allie is the ambitious pitch designer. Sorry, that gave me the wrong thing. But essentially, she works for this company, and she does not have the best. She's got some trauma associated with relationships and things like that, and so she's not really to look forward to anything. And then so she's played by Olivia Hull, and then we have Mason Gooding, who you might remember from this Scream. I don't know, was it a reboot? Scream, the 2022 film.
Yes, so that's the one. If I'm not mistaken, that's the one where they're in New York.
Okay.
Yes.
And so he was in that, and he was in Scream 6, I believe, as well. So
maybe that's the one where he was.
It was one of those two.
It was one of them. It was one of those.
And then if you've seen the movie Booksmart, which I haven't, he was in that as well. So, but he was in 2 of the Scream movies. So maybe trying to become a Scream king himself in these types of movies. And I thought these actors did a wonderful job.
Yes, personally. They did. And it took me a minute because the Allie, the character Allie, the actress who plays her, I kept, where have I seen her? Where have I seen her? Where have I seen her? And she's from the Hulu show Perfect Summer, or Cruel Summer, excuse me.
Cruel Summer, yeah.
Great show, just to plug that. And I believe it was the first season that she was in, because the seasons aren't related. It's one of those types of shows, but she was great in that. And they were really, really good in this. In Hard Eyes, they had excuse me, they had really good chemistry. And they had different types of chemistry, which I really appreciated. They had the goofy chemistry, where we're running into each other and we're spilling coffees. And then they have the, smoldering chemistry where we're having these longing looks across the table, but we're not like that,
Yeah.
They have the competitive chemistry. So I thought that they paired them very well over a plethora of different lover tropes.
Yeah. And this movie, when you get to those 2 characters, you see a lot of that tension. You see a lot of this back and forth, as you talked about. And there's a date that they go on, and then it turns into a couple of these other things. And I want to say a solid, 30-35 minutes, maybe, of the movie, you don't see Hard Eyes. You don't. Yeah. And the movie then almost slips into full rom-com, and you almost forget that you're watching a horror movie until it violently reminds you, out of nowhere, reminds you, hey, this is a horror movie. This is a slasher flick.
We're killing people over here.
Right. We slashing up, we slicing and dicing over here. in a moment that got me, and I'm not gonna this isn't a movie. I think Sister Payne had called it out before. It's not really a movie full of jump scares, but there is one jump scare that that's how they bring you back out of the rom-com into the horror. And I was like, oh, I clutched my pearls. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I forgot about this side of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought they balanced the multiple genres well. And I don't know what your thoughts are, Sister Payne, but I thought because so many times we see horror movies that, especially now, they don't develop characters well. And they almost, you see a group of characters and you're like, you gone, you gone, you gone, you gone. That they are just there to be a body count, right? There's the times where yes, we're going to give you these 2 main characters, but then they're so unlikable that you don't really care what happens to them. You're rooting for the killer. You're like, I want you to kill. I want this guy to win.
Yes. Yeah.
And this movie made me care about these 2 characters in a weird way. I can't explain it, but I was like, I do kind of care about them. They're really quirky. They're not sure, she's getting on my last nerve. But so you start investing into their story as people, so much so that when that shock comes, you're like, oh, that's right. They can die. This could happen. So I thought the movie I thought the movie balanced that really well. I don't know what your opinions are.
I agree. I agree. Especially in that moment where it slaps you back into the reality of this is a horror film, this is a slasher film. They balance really well the moments of comedy, but
Mm-hmm.
also the physicality of slasher films, because that is one thing about slasher films. People are running, you
Yep.
know, they're throwing stuff at you, they're barricading doors, they're fighting. And that initial sequence of all of that, I thought was really, really well done, and it had the elements of comedy with it, but then it also showed you some of the ways that Jay could care for Allie and vice versa.
Yeah.
So like, just within that couple of minutes alone, within that, that rising action, you get
Mm-hmm.
all the genres. You really get all of the genres, and it doesn't feel like anything was cheapened. Um,
No.
which is so easy to do when you're making a mixed genre film. It's very easy to cheapen one of the genres that you're doing. Um, and this didn't have that for me. So I thought that they did a good job throughout the movie of making sure we understood that this is a this is a rom-com slasher movie.
Right.
Yeah, they did a good job of that throughout the whole thing.
And there were moments in this film that I genuinely laughed. And I thought that the little quirky, the flirtatious banter, some of the ways in which they would react to things, was hilarious. And then there was some dry humor in there. And there's a scene where they are in a
Oh,
drive-in. And all I'm gonna say, because I'm not gonna ruin it for you, you have to go and watch it. But these two, Ali and Jay, are having a deep heart-to-heart conversation, and the timing could not be any worse.
yes.
I don't even know if that's the right way to put this. The timing is so out there.
What
And
was
the
happening
circle,
around them did not match the conversation they were having.
not at all.
Not at all.
And so you're trying to listen to this conversation, but yet you see, you are aware of what is happening around them, and you're just like, what?
What?
This is
Yeah.
where you decide to. But it's decisions like that are risky, but again, they add so much to this movie. And I think the runtime of the movie also helps. Being 97 minutes, it's easy to digest. It
Yes.
was honestly over before I realized it was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, we're in the third act already.
Yeah. And
Okay.
not in a bad way. Like, it was not, it's very, again, you could either kill it with too much or you could kill it with not enough. I think it was just enough. It was a good
Yeah,
length.
and there's a lot of movies that I think, and especially horror movies, that at least within recent years overstay their welcome. And you don't need to do that. Like,
Correct.
it's horror. Especially with slasher flicks. Supernatural movies, I think, are different because there's often lore, there's story. You're trying to build onto that. Valid. That is more Sister Payne's category, but I think those almost justify a longer runtime. But when it comes to slasher flicks, you know what you're getting.
Yep.
Like, you know that you're getting some teens or young adults or whatever running from this killer. They're going to run for a while. People are going to die. Eventually, they're going to try to overcome him. That's kind of the running thing with these slasher flicks. And so it doesn't need to be insane. Doesn't need to be crazy. And this movie, with it being so self-aware, understands that as well. And the ending of this movie is a twist that I did not see coming.
Me either. And before we even get to that part, I think we need to acknowledge one of the things, because of the self-awareness that you brought it up. The detectives that are in the movie are familiar faces to horror, which I absolutely appreciate. Um, So in the sense of that, pardon me, away from the screen for a moment. I just want to make sure I get these names right. Um, where are we? Where are we? So if anyone, obviously you'll be familiar with Final Destination.
Hmm.
And so one of the detectives, his name is Hobbs. I can't find that in that part in my notes, but maybe Brother Payne, you may have it in yours. Um, is played by um, the main character from the original Final Destination. Um, Sawa, I think is his last name.
I think so. Let me see.
Yes.
I do not have that in my notes. Look at me being a rookie.
I think you do. It's in your I think it's in the second set of notes that you have from what I saw earlier.
Oh, wait a
Um,
minute. Oh, Devon Sawa?
yes. Yeah, Devon
Yes.
Sawa. Yes.
Oh,
So
sorry, yeah, Devon.
yeah, Devon Sawa is from Final Destination. He's also from Idle Hands.
Yep.
And so
Also
seeing
in Casper.
and Casper, yes, because he played the human version of Casper and the voice. Such a crush, anyways. Um, such a
And then
crush.
you have Jordana Brewster as Detective Janine Shaw, partner to Hobbs, and she is known for the Fast and Furious franchise.
Yes,
So she was in all of those movies.
yeah. And I think considering, that we are doing cross genre, and that's one thing that I think Hard Eyes also did well. The action was really good. Like, they did that very well, which is why I was really excited to see the two of them playing the detectives, because with the self-awareness that Brother Payne has been talking about, especially seeing Devon Sawa, you knew, okay, y'all know this is a horror movie. You know that you know that this is in the it's teeny bopper esque, so like it gives all of those things. And I think when you see actors show up for to play those types of roles that they played, they did not take themselves seriously, and that was the best part for me. I
Yeah,
love the fact that they did not take themselves too seriously. I thought that was wonderful.
yeah, absolutely. Um, and even sorry, I just thought of another scene. There's an ending. So I don't think I'm man, I don't know if I want to talk about it or not. I don't know if I want to spoil it. There's an ending scene where it dips into the cliche of like the survivors. They always end up in the ambulance and they have the
Yeah.
heavy coat over them and they're crying and they're drinking something hot or whatever. And, and in the moment there's like dramatic music playing in the background and she's sad, she's reflecting on what she had just survived, and the paramedic comes over and she's like, sorry, I need to take this for another call, and takes the blanket. So she's just
Just
left there
snatches
standing in
it.
the cold.
Yes. She's like,
I
oh,
was like, dang, a sister that just survived all of this and she can't even keep a warm blanket.
yeah. I feel like that part of that part of it gave Scary Movie. Like, Scary Movie was really good for that, especially the first two was really good at pulling you in and then snatching you out of it to remind you that you're watching something that's meant to be a little bit funny.
Yeah.
And I think that scene right there was great because it was the typical end of a big, of her battle with her life. And she's like, I just need to get warm. No, I have to go. Somebody else needs this blanket.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but again, it's the self-awareness. So I think that's the theme of Hard Eyes. It was a very self-aware movie. That was a good call, Brother Payne.
And thank you. And they even like they dip into like during the rom-com period. There's a lot that they cover in that. Like
Yeah.
there's emotional insecurities. They taught the emotional vulnerability, trauma, all these things because Allie essentially assumes that she knows the kind of guy that Jay is.
Hmm.
And so she's like, nope, you're this, you're that, you only care about this. And she essentially thinks that she reads him for filth. And he's like, okay, you've got some deep-seated issues here. And so like it's crazy because in a sense they're working through these emotions and feelings while being hunted down by a killer. Like
Yes.
there's
That's
I
what
am
makes it
not always
magical.
the would you say?
That's what makes it magical.
Right. And I'm not always and this is a different part of our conversation. I'm not always holiday holiday horror movies. I think it's very rare that I think they get done right.
Hmm.
And I don't, not that I've seen a whole ton of them. Sister, I don't know if you have any favorites that you can think of off the top of your head.
The
Um,
original Black Christmas was easy.
oh yeah, this is the 1981, right?
Yes.
I haven't seen that one. I saw the remake, and I was a kid, so I don't remember a lot about it.
Yeah.
Um, and you have things like Violent Night and all these Christmas, themed horror movies. You have Terrifier 3, which was essentially Christmas themed. You've had, I think, the movie Thanksgiving, right? Is a horror that was
Oh,
a horror.
Thanksgiving. I watched that. I did
Yeah.
see that. That was gruesome.
Um, yes. And so, but most of them I feel like are just like, hey, it's this holiday and we're gonna kill people. Like
Yeah.
hey, it's St. Patrick's Day, we're gonna kill people. It's Christmas. This guy running around with like a Santa Claus costume is gonna like kill people. It's fine, and it ends up being it's just like as a gamer, and if you any gamers out there, you'll get this. It's just a reskinned like slasher movie. It's just like, hey, it's this, but we're gonna put a different skin on it. Okay. Oh, we need a Easter slasher movie. We're gonna put the bunny on it. Oh, we need St. Patty's Day. Put him in a suit. Where's what is it
Leprechaun.
called? The Leprechaun movies. Yeah, we're gonna put out a new Leprechaun movie. Like it's like
Oh,
what?
Leprechaun.
And it's
Whoa.
just it becomes this rinse and repeat. This I know it sounds like we for the young people we glaze in, but it really was done well.
Yeah.
And Val and I are not people that are gonna bullshit. We're not. If
No.
something is, you saw it with the monkey, okay? I ragged on that movie. If something is bad, we're gonna call it bad. We're not going. Everything is too expensive out here for us to be telling you to go waste your money up in this economy, okay? And this ain't even in the movies; it's on Netflix, but still, Netflix up here charging. We trying to survive. They try to get a bag.
Oh man. No,
But we're not gonna sit here and just high praise a movie if it doesn't deserve it. This is a holiday rom-com slasher flick, and it perfectly balances all three. Now, I'm not saying the movie ain't got no flaws, but
everything has flaws, right?
yeah, everything has flaws. I'm sure if we really wanted to, we could sit here and nitpick certain things. But at the end of the day, it succeeded at being a slasher film. It succeeded at the rom-com things. It succeeded at also being having some social commentary in there, as well as having some fun humor. And it's not like, laugh your butt off humor, but it's that flirty humor, the little bit of the banter that you would see again in one of those romantic flicks. You're just adding a guy that's and don't get me wrong, the kills are gruesome.
Yes,
Okay.
they are. They're great. I know that sounds weird. They're great kills, but they are. They're really, really good kills. And I think that's the other part that brings it together is the fact that it didn't lack in that department. When you're watching a slasher film, you want the kills. That's what you're there for. You're there for the stalking. You're there for the kills. You're there to see how creative they can be with the kills. And this did not disappoint. That's why I feel like they did each of the genres really well because they did not disappoint with the kills. They were really good.
Yeah. I mean, and you really do get all of it in this movie. There's even a little bit of like holiday commercialism in there. Like it hits it hits on a lot of those on a lot of those notes. So and from what I've read online, now this is where we gonna get, because I don't know, but there is rumors that they are working on a sequel to Hard Eyes, and slashers and sequels don't always go well. Okay,
Right.
They try to either do the same thing they did the first time and it doesn't really hit, or they try to go for something completely outlandish and that doesn't work. Sometimes, on a rare occasion, the sequel can be better or as good as,
Yeah.
the first movie. For Halloween 2, you know, almost said Rob Zombie, not Rob Zombie. John Carpenter didn't even want to make that movie. Didn't want to make Halloween 2. Studio pressured him. And there's a lot of people that he admitted he phoned it in. Like, he phoned it in while creating that movie. But for a lot of people, that movie still stands with Halloween 1 because it's in the same night. And so that is an example of that director not really wanting to do it, not having the passion to do it, but it's still working.
Yeah.
But a lot of other slashers don't have that same success.
Yeah.
I don't remember it as well, Val, but maybe you can tell me, how did you feel about Scream 2 versus Scream 1?
Okay, so Scream 2 versus Scream 1. Obviously, Scream 1 is the classic, right?
Yeah.
I enjoyed Scream 2 because I felt as though they provided a little bit more in the sense of diversity. That was one thing that I really appreciated. I thought they captured the university life really well. So that was good. I think it had some decent kills. I appreciated the ending. And that's the thing about the Scream movies that I always love is the whodunit.
Mm-hmm.
It's always, and we talked about this a little bit off camera before, they're always tied together. So I don't want to give too much for another episode. They're always tied together somehow, but sometimes it really does keep you guessing. So I appreciated that about Scream 2. I liked Scream 2. There were, like I said, there's definitely some moments where I was kind of like, we could have done something differently, or Sydney, please stop yelling, but yeah. I think Sydney cried a lot. Okay?
Yeah.
A lot.
Shut up.
Yes, shut up. Please. She cried a lot. But
listen, that's one of my pet peeves in horror. Okay, when you got the girl and they're hiding from the killer and they're under the table or they're in a closet, and I'm like, he can hear you. You might as well just step out and be like, here I am.
Yes, my goodness. So I think I don't think any of the Screams can beat Scream 1. There's nothing like Scream 1. Yeah. But the sequel, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was terrible. So.
And I think, and that's for me, like Halloween 2. And we're bringing these up, guys, because these are our favorite horror genres from back in the day. I think Child's Play 2, I think, was also good. But I don't remember it as much. But the reason I loved Halloween 2 as a fan was because, one, they changed the scenery. You're not moving around the neighborhood. And yes, like the scenery from the first movie going from house to house to house, whereas Michael, it's setting that up. That's great. But like, if any of you have ever had like a hospital phobia, I know that's a thing, but you're in a hospital in the dead of night and there's no staff. Have you ever spent the night in a hospital? I have.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Listen, you already know one of my phobias is walking through hallways walking through long hallways.
Yes.
With nobody around.
And so I thought,
a nightmare for me.
And so not only has this girl been hunted all night, by the way, and went toe to toe with this man, but now she's strapped up. Okay, she's connected to IVs and all this stuff in a hospital with barely no staff. And guess what? The mother trucker that was hunting her done came to the hospital, and now there she is, tied up, trying to got done a million things, and are trying to figure out how to get out. And it's a massive hospital.
Sitting duck.
So you changed the environment. You made it. What'd you say?
Sitting duck.
Yeah, sitting duck. So you've taken what you did well in the first movie. You've made it slightly more claustrophobic by keeping it in a hospital. And now you've given her, now she's attached to these IVs and things that she needs. She's not fully at her full strength to run. And then you've just got all this. And then instead of it being more lurky and stalky like the first one, you're seeing Michael in his full form. Yeah. That scene where she is crawling and then he comes up from behind the nurse and stabs her and lifts her up off the floor, I was like, oh no. Oh no. I was like, GG's. Go run. You better find the strength and run. Because ain't nobody coming to save you.
Not a soul. Not a soul. But I think Hard Eyes actually did really well with that too. That's one of the things about Hard Eyes that I think that I do appreciate is the fact that there were a lot of different sets for that movie. There's a
Yeah.
lot of different scenes, a lot of different places where they filmed, and so you never really just get too comfortable with one space. You go
Yeah.
to the police station, you're in her apartment, you're at, the workspace, you're in the streets, like you're at the drive-in theater where it's a super super public place. And I think that's what I love about Hard Eyes too. A lot of these things are happening in these very public places.
Yeah. That's what threw me off.
These
I was
very
like,
public
I was
places.
surprised.
And it's like there's chaos, but then at the same time, like you said, there's a lot of people who aren't fully taking it seriously either.
Yeah.
And so I really thought that they did I liked that part about the movie and the set and all that stuff is you didn't, because how many times can I watch you run up the stairs?
Or fall down them.
Or truck through the woods, like you need change. You need something to cleanse the palate.
I thought, like, in reference to that, I thought just quickly, I thought the merry-go-round scene was very creative.
Oh, loved that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, okay, all right, that's a different kind of, because you're taking something that's supposed to be meant for joy, playful, innocent, and then now you're adding fear, horror, uncertainty, dread, all these things to that. Just that simple set piece of a merry-go-round. You know what I mean?
Positive and happy is so menacing.
Right. So that was a good call out too. I love the different set pieces. I mean, there's a scene where he's just walking around in public and daylight. Yeah. Like not daylight, but just fully in view of everyone. People know who he is. And like you said, you have some people reacting, some people aren't. Now, yes, some of these people are intoxicated. That scene reminded me of the scene from Freddy versus Jason, where Jason is in the cornfield and they're all having the rave and he's just walking through. But the difference with that is, like, Jason was just hacking people up. Okay. He didn't care who you were. He said, anybody can get it today. Like, but in Hard Eyes, he's not killing every single person he's walking by.
No. That's the thing. You have to be a couple.
Yeah.
That's the caveat for him is you have to be a couple. You have to be a couple. And there's also people walking around impersonating him. So people also don't know, is it legit or is it not? And that they had in Scream 1 in the high school.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
They pulled that element from it as well. And I really liked that it's that element of, when you're watching Friday the 13th, the first couple ones. Okay, well, if I'm not at Camp Crystal Lake, I'm safe.
Right.
Or
I just don't have to go to that camp.
I just don't have to go to that camp, or I need to stay off of an Elm Street, right? So
unless you were in the movie where Jason went to New York, then I can't help you there.
That part, exactly.
Right.
Or God help us. But I like that about Hard Eyes is that he travels. You do not know it state to state, city to city, anywhere. But if you're a couple, that's who's going to get it. And I think what I loved about this is, if you really, like, without trying to give any of it away, if you really think about it, this is kind of really Allie's fault. But I'll leave it there.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's her fault.
I knew I didn't like
her. So you know why I say that.
I knew I didn't like her.
Knew didn't like
but her. I would. So yeah, we're gonna get to the final verdict here. But I don't think, as we said before, there's nothing that really gets lost in this. So, like, the rom-com doesn't take away from the horror. The horror doesn't take away from the comedy. And there are some real sentimental moments also sprinkled out through here.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the end, and when you get to the ending is something that you probably won't expect. For me, I definitely didn't. Um, and the reveal is not something that you expect. So there's a lot packed into 97 minutes of this movie. Again, it's not perfect. It's not the best slasher film you're ever going to see. But for a movie that wanted to do so much, and again, with the writer being, the same guy who wrote Happy Death Day, because I really felt the same way about Happy Death Day. I
Yeah.
really, really liked that movie. I thought much in the same. It blended humor, it blended slasher, it blended comedy well together, and that's hard to do. That's
Yes.
hard to do. Um, I love to laugh, but I don't love all comedy movies because I think some of them try too hard. So it's I'm much more of a fan of subtle, dry humor. That's just my thing. So this film blends a lot of that together perfectly. So my final verdict, which I mean, I don't know, did we grade? I don't think we graded movies on the first one.
We didn't, but we can give it something.
I'm gonna give, well, just in the spirit of Valentine's Day, I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it 3.5 hearts out of 5. Because I thought it did. You know what? I'm gonna be generous. I'm gonna give it 4. I'm gonna give it 4 hearts out of 5. I thought it did really well. I loved the campiness. I'm a really hard person to win over when it comes to campiness, and especially multi-genre horror movies. And again, I went in. Both of us did. We went in with open minds,
Yeah.
and it genuinely surprised me how much I liked this movie. And so much so that I was like, Sister Payne, if you haven't seen it, you got to see it. You got to watch this movie. It's going to be up your alley.
Yeah.
And for it being a Netflix movie, Netflix movies, take them or leave them, they're not always the greatest. So with the cast involved, the directors, the producers, the writers, I thought they did a great job. I don't know. We'll see what not Happy Death Day. We'll see what Hard Eyes 2 does. We might like it. We might not. We'll definitely review it whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
But as for the first one, I'm gonna give it 4 hearts out of 5.
All right. So I'm going to give it a 3.7 out of 5 hearts. I really liked it as well. The only reason why it didn't hit a 4 for me, and I'm not going to give any of the spoiler for it, but I felt as though there was a little something I felt was overdone in the ending for me. And we could talk about that off camera, Brother Payne.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only thing that made me not give it a 4. But other
Okay.
than that, I thought it was funny. I thought it had great date movie, vibe too. I appreciated the kills; those were really great, and the music was awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll 7 out of 5. I think it was really good.
Yeah. If you're looking for, if you and your spouse or you and your significant other are both into horror or even just campy, because it's not even fully, there are horror elements to it, but there's a lot of thriller elements to it as well. And that's even another podcast that might be coming out at some point. Horror versus thriller, the differences. But if you are looking for something, maybe next Valentine's Day, not even Valentine's Day, just on a date night or something, you guys want to have a date night at the house, put up some popcorn, a beverage, some food or whatever, and you want to throw this on, you're going to have a good time. I cannot stress this enough, do not watch this with children.
No.
Please don't. It's rated R, people. Rated R. Yes, I grew up watching movies I had no business watching. Okay? But that was a different generation.
It's a different time.
Don't be one of these parents that have your kids watch this movie and then go on the Facebook and be like, I cannot believe.
Yeah.
It's rated R. There is blood, there is sexual content, there is language. But if it's just you and your spouse, you and your girl, whoever, throw it on. You're going to have a good time. You're going to enjoy it. Go give it a watch on Netflix. I don't know if it's coming off of Netflix anytime soon, because sometimes they cycle through things. But you'll definitely want to give that a watch. But that's going to wrap up our cover of Heart Eyes. We have some pretty exciting episodes planned for the future, y'all. As of right now, our next planned episode is going to be us reviewing and covering Send Help, which Sister Payne has already seen and has given me some of her thoughts on. I still have to get to the movie theaters and watch that, but I am very much intrigued by it. We are still, I know we announced it before, we are still going to do our full Derry, Welcome to Derry podcast as well. That's going to be a two-parter because there is so much, so much to cover. And as soon as we have a date for that, we'll let you know. But in the meantime, you might want to go and rewatch it so you can be ready for the podcast, because that's what we're going to have to do. We got a lot of homework to do when it comes to that. We have other movies coming out. Scream 7, I think, is coming out today or this weekend.
Yeah.
So we're going to be covering Scream 7 as well. So it might go Send Help, Scream 7, and then Welcome to Derry might be our path, because we really, with how much both of us loved Welcome to Derry, we want to give it its proper time for us to research and really talk about it. And so I'm excited for Scream 7 as well. So get to the movies, watch those, and comment on this video. Let us know, again, what's your favorite type of horror? Do you like rated R? Do you like PG-13? Do you like slashers? Do you like supernatural? Engage with the video, guys. We're excited to be doing this. If you, like I said before, if you haven't given the Stranger Things episode a watch, go back and check that out with Mel and Sister Payne. And then if you want to know our predictions and what we're looking forward to this year, you can check out our first episode. But with that, I think that's all we got.
That's all we got. Thank you for joining us on Painful Cinema with Sister Payne
and Brother Payne.
And we will see you real soon.